Keep it short was that conversation. But before we do that, I'd like 10 seconds of silence. Today, a scout is being buried in Sacramento. His name is Desario Perez, Private, 12th Medical Regiment Headquarters. He was part of our groups, and they're disappearing, so please. Thank you. I should be there, but I'm here. Hello, everyone. First, I'd like to thank Cecilia for this opportunity to speak today and sharing with this panel, these two wonderful gentlemen. An 8-minute speech could never cover the glorious 20 years of the 26th Cavalry Regiment. My name is Rudy Cabigas, and blessed with 3 family members that served proudly with the 26th Regiment. My dad, Private Sidiaco Ramos Cabigas, Headquarters Troops, 1923 to 26. He came to California in 1927. My brother, my uncle, his brother, Private PFC Saturnino Ramos Cabigas, E-Troop, 1936 to 1946. Bronze Star, survived the war. He refused the U.S. citizenship, and he stayed in the country he fought for. He died never seeing his brother again. Their cousin, Alberto Cabigas, E-Troop, 1940, 1942. He died at the POW camp in July 1942. The 26th Cav, how did they come about? In the later part of July 1922, the 9th U.S. Cavalry was slated to return to the United States. The question was, who was going to perform its mission and who was going to take over the horses and the equipment? Based on Cavalry Memorandum Number 4, War Department, 1921, cavalry officers with 1 9th Cavalry non-commissioned officer for every 8 scouts was used as instructors. The plan was to create a new unit to be designated the 26th Cavalry Regiment Philippine Scouts. Thus, the regiment was formed. During the formation of the regiment, other members to fill the required table of organization were transferred from different Philippine Scout units of different ethnicities, and respecting those prejudices, the regiment was organized so that Troop A spoke Pampango, Troop B spoke Visaya, Troop E spoke Ilocano, and Troop F mainly spoke Pamakasan. I'm sorry, I do not even speak Filipino. The headquarters troops and service troops, together with the machine gun troops, spoke the mixed dialects because because of their specialties. They can talk to each other and then the officers. On October 1st, 1922, the 26th Cavalry Regiment was formally organized by Colonel Edward Anderson, marking the birth of the 26th Horse Cavalry Regiment Philippine Scouts. The vigorous training began on October 18th, 1922. The regiment gave a complimentary parade to the Archbishop of Manila, and in passing review at the trot and gallop, the line was perfect. On November 13th that year, the regiment was inspected by the Department of Commander, and the showing was credible. Finally, the 26th Horse Cavalry Regiment was certified as part of the United States Army designated Philippine Scouts. In 1922, the cavalry was formed, and it was stationed at Fort Stotzenburg. They were consisted of the 43rd Infantry Regiment and the 25th Field Artillery Regiment. And there was also F Troop, or Troop F, which was based in Nichols Field. In addition to horse-mounted troops, the regiment had a headquarter troop, a machine gun group, and a platoon of 6 Indiana white M1 scout cars. And trucks for transporting service elements like horse feed, food for the soldiers, their clothes. And on November 30th, 1941, the regiment had 787 Filipino enlisted men and 55 American officers. Following the 1941 Japanese invasion, the 26th participated in the Allied withdrawal to the Bataan Peninsula. In doing so, the unit conducted a classic delaying action that allowed other less mobile units to safely withdraw to the peninsula. During the delaying action, the 26th provided the stoutest and the most serious opposition on the withdrawal. In the initial landing of the Japanese Imperial Army, the regiment alone delayed the advancement of 4 enemy infantry regiments. for 6 hours at Demortis, a town in the Laysan Gulf, and on December 24th repulsed a tank assault at the town of Binalawan. However, the resistance was not without cost, as by the end of that day, the regiment had been reduced down to 450 men. Following these events, the regiment was pulled off the line, brought back up to strength of 657 men, who in January 1942 held open the roadways to Bataan Peninsula, allowing other units to prepare for their stand there. On Bataan, a combined troop of E&F under the command of Lieutenant Edwin Ramsey performed the last U.S. cavalry horse-mounted charge in American history. The charge occurred at the town of Morong, Bataan on January 16, 1942. Next month, there will be a movie on Lieutenant Colonel Ramsey down in L.A. It's going to be a premiere November 13th. Following this, due to the shortage of food, as Paul mentioned, the mounts were butchered and the regiment was converted into 2 squadrons, one a motorized rifle squadron, the other a mechanized squadron utilizing the remaining scout cars and Bren carriers. They're like British jeeps with tracks. Other actions of the 26 are, following the delaying action down the central Luzon plain, Cavalry Troop C was cut off from the rest of the regiment, having been ordered into northern Luzon. In January 1942, with the assistance from the 71st Infantry and the elements of the 11th Infantry, raided Tuguegarao airfield, destroying several planes and causing enemy casualties. Most of those officers were beheaded, put to death in Manila. This is where my uncle won his Bronze Star. When he was separated, separated from Bataan, he joined C Troop, which was a very interesting historical search for me. Anyway, the remnants of the Troop C would later be integrated to the United States Armed Forces in the Philippine Northern Luzon. Other guerrilla organizations were led by officers of the regiment like Lieutenant Edwin Ramsey, who ignored the surrender orders. I'd like to end with two final things. One is it's the voice of freedom on Bataan, April 9th, 1942. It summed up the American surrender. Bataan has fallen. The Philippine-American troops on this war-ravaged and blood-stained peninsula have laid down their arms. With heads bloody but unbowed, they have yielded to the superior force and numbers of the enemy. The world will long remember this epic struggle that the Filipino and American soldiers put up in the jungle fastness and along the rugged coast of Bataan. They have stood up uncomplaining under constant and grueling fire of the enemy for more than 3 months. Besieged on land, blockaded by sea, cut off from all sources of help in the Philippines and in America, the intrepid fighters have done all that human endurance could bear. And in closing, this poem was written by First Lieutenant Henry Lee, and I have never really researched what outfit was in because I just thought this band was really grateful for the Scouts, and it's titled The Philippine Scouts, first paragraph only. The desperate fight is lost. The battle is done. The brown-lean ranks are scattered to the breeze. Their cherished weapons rusting in the sun. Their moldering guidons hidden by the leaves. No more the men who did not fear to die will plug the broken line while through the din. Their beaten comrades raise the welcome cry. I'm like Paul, make way, make way. The Scouts are moving in. Thank you.